Hello and welcome to Geeking Out About It, the Skeleton Crew edition. There are 4 people in the studio today, and you're looking at 2 of them. My name is Chance. I am the new producer of Geeking Out About It for this school year. You may recognize me from our Indiana Jones episode as the guy who got punched a bunch.
Yes, and I very much enjoyed doing that. It was a good time. You already recognize me. I've been on this show for its entire existence. So my name's Sam. I am here helping out our new producer. I'm happy to pass the torch on to him. And we're in his apartment because the studio is currently closed down for safety concerns for Corona. So, hopefully we get back in that studio soon. But for now, this is what we're going to be doing.
And today we're here to talk about one of my personal favorite sitcoms of all time, Community.
Yes, Community is a very fun show. I remember when I found it for the first time, I just binge watched the entire thing. And I'm sure my brother, who's sitting behind the camera, also did the exact same thing. And I think I remember when you did that. Yeah, he's shaking his head.
I watched this show for the perfect time. Like, the first time I watched the series was my senior year of high school, so it just got me so excited to move on to college and have like weird misadventures and start a chicken tender mafia.
Yeah, I was thinking about the similar things. I was like, man, hopefully it's like this. But just like when I watched High School Musical as a kid growing up, and then I went to high school, it was nothing like that. There's no paintball. I can't just go around shooting things up in the school and having like a blast with that.
There's Humans vs. Zombies.
Humans vs. Zombies at Oregon State is actually pretty cool. So if you're looking to come to Oregon State, that's pretty fun.
Now let's jump into a quick history about the show before we move on, shall we? Community was created by Dan Harmon, who would later go on to co-create Rick and Morty on Adult Swim. The show was influenced by many of Harmon's experiences going to community college, and its first episode aired on NBC on September 17th of 2009 to 7.89 million viewers. The show would run on NBC for 5 seasons, with the 6th and final season being produced by Yahoo Screen for a total of 110 episodes. We're still waiting on that movie.
Yes, we got the 6 seasons. Now we just need the movie.
There's been some talk.
Yeah, a lot recently, especially due to the Corona stuff. But anyways, I think we should talk about why the show was so good, and it's mostly due to its really fascinating characters.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Let's start with the de facto leader of the study group, Jeff Winger,
yes.
played by Joel McHale. Jeff starts the show as a lawyer who was recently found out to have a fake bachelor's degree and has to enroll in community college to earn a real degree.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite pieces about Jeff is that his arrogance, it really defines who he is in the early parts of the episodes, but his heart always punches through, and he always goes and eventually will help his friends because he really does care.
Yeah, that's a major theme of his character over the whole show is he puts up this very tough guy, cool exterior, and he slowly learns to open up with the group. He originally started the study group because he wanted to hook up with Britta, and he would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for Abed Nadir.
Abed is probably one of the most interesting characters in the show due to his quirky nature. He has various things that he does throughout the show that are always wild, but also he's the funniest by far.
Absolutely. Yeah, Abed's obsession with all things pop culture is really important in leading to a lot of the different genres we see portrayed throughout the show, such as the contemporary American poultry, where it's a mafia movie centered around chicken tenders, or even more niche styles like the My Dinner with Andre episode.
Yeah, and there's always plenty of things that he does that kind of puts you in the same mindset as himself. So like when you're watching Pillows and Blankets, everything's narrated like it's a war documentary in the Civil War, and it's always really immersive whenever you're looking through Abed's eyes because you're seeing it as a TV show the same way that Abed sees his life as a TV show.
Exactly. And while the study group, of course, loves and accepts Abed, nobody understands how he works better than his best friend, Troy Barnes.
Yes.
Played by Donald Glover, a.k.a. Childish Gambino.
Yes, he went on to have great success after the show, becoming Childish Gambino, and even left the show on the Childish Tycoon.
That's right. A little nod to that.
Yes.
Troy was a former high school football star who lost a college scholarship due to a keg flip. A very important distinction from a keg stand, as he'll tell you.
Yes.
He was raised as a Jehovah's Witness, and a major point of his transition in the first season is A major point of his character arc in the first season is his transition from jock to accepting himself as more of a nerd.
Yes, and he becomes one of the funniest nerds out there. Him and Abed just bounce off each other better than anyone else.
Absolutely. Troy and Abed are the greatest power couple in television history.
Yes, they are.
Troy went to high school and would later live with Annie Edison, played by Alison Brie.
Yes, and Annie is probably the smartest person in the study group, and she cares deeply about all of her friends and will sometimes do things that are not the best for them, but still at the same time, in the end, brings them all closer together.
Yeah, Annie is very academically driven, and this often fuels her competitive nature. A great example we see of this is in the Model UN episode.
Yes.
The name escapes me.
The Model UN episode, I think, is probably the closest title that I can remember of it.
Yeah, it's like interdimensional global conflict or something.
Yeah, a lot of the titles of the episodes are very confusing, but also really great.
But they're named similar to college courses. Yeah. And as well as being highly intelligent, Annie's also very flirtatious towards Jeff, which sometimes puts her in competition with Britta Perry,
Yes.
played by Gillian Jacobs.
And Britta is considered the worst. She is just the worst character just because how much she pushes the group in ways that they just really don't respond to.
The characters have even coined a term after her for when you make a mistake. You Britta something.
Yes.
Britta is a former anarchist who still loves to rebel against the man. We see this in the episode where Chang is a security guard, and Chang keeps arresting her, and Britta keeps messing stuff up, or kicks over a trash can.
It's actually quite funny. Now, while Britta may be considered the worst of the study group, she's still a really good character, and she really does help them out plenty of times, even though she's not really a psychologist.
Exactly. Yeah, but nobody ridicules Britta in the study group more than Pierce Hawthorne, played by Chevy Chase. By far the oldest member of the study group, he is also the heir to the Hawthorne Wipes family fortune.
Yes, and he is an absolute jerk. I think that's the most vulgar word I can use on camera.
I believe so.
But I will. That's where I'll call it there. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
There's plenty of research you can do on the subject. Otherwise, both about Pierce Hawthorne and Chevy Chase.
Weirdly though, he's great at D&D.
Weirdly, yeah, he got great at D&D purely out of spite.
Yeah.
Scream when I told you to scream!
Pierce Hawthorne is my master. Prepare to meet your doom.
I run towards Pierce with my broadsword drawn, and I attack as time stop! Time stop?
Draconis has tons of spells. The six of you are completely frozen and helpless.
This is why I wanted to play Chutes and Ladders.
So Pierce was a major character in the first 3 seasons of the show, and he had reduced appearances during season 4 due to ongoing behind-the-scenes drama between Chevy Chase and Dan Harmon, and was eventually killed off-screen in season 5 as a result.
Yeah, and his final episode, or really not his final, no, I guess he has a hologram appearance in that one for some reason.
Yeah, in the season 5 opener.
Yeah, the last episode that we see him with the jars where he puts his cans through everything was actually one of the more interesting episodes in terms of looking at who he was as a person, because while he was an absolute jerk, he still did care about his study group because they were his only friends, really. So, yeah.
Well, it's kind of a similar situation to Jeff.
Yeah.
And during season 4, Pierce went into business and opened up a sandwich shop with Shirley Bennett, played by Yvette Nicole Brown, who I only recognize from Drake and Josh. I'm sure she's been in lots of other things.
Yeah, I recognized her from Drake and Josh as well. She's like the mom of the group. She keeps everyone in order when they start stepping out of line, especially people like Jeff. She'll always be like, Jeffrey!
Jeffrey? That's nice.
Yeah. Oh man, I love her passive-aggressive nature too. It's so great.
Yeah, Shirley is a reformed Christian, but man, oh man, she had a wild streak in the past. We see that during mixology certification. I forget what season that's in.
Yeah, when Troy's birthday.
Yep, there's pictures of Shirley all over the bar.
Yep.
And then even the foosball one, where we learned that when Shirley was 12, she beat Jeff so bad at foosball that she made him pee his pants.
Yeah. There's a lot of fun connections between the group that Abed would later point out in the ice cream episode,
right.
that everyone knows each other from somewhere.
One of the only really great episodes of season 4 As for some honorable mentions, we have to, of course, mention Dean Craig Pelton, played by Jim Rash. He's the dean of Greendale Community College, and he takes any opportunity he can get to wear an elaborate costume and just pop in on the study group, oftentimes in drag.
Also, really good at D&D. Like, just really stellar at D&D.
Also, head over heels in love with Jeff.
Yes, he is.
Anyway, he's just very determined to make Greendale a real school and not just a diploma factory.
Yeah, but also, it's a diploma factory.
And of course, we save the best for last. We got to talk about Benjamin Franklin Chang, played by Ken Jeong.
Yes, Chang is great.
What is there to say? The man is absolutely insane.
Yes, magic user, baby.
He starts off the series as a Spanish teacher for the study group. It's later revealed that he also had a fake degree, so he enrolls as a student, and he is just in a bunch of different roles around the school. In season 3, he stages a coup and attempts to kill the study group and take over the school. Yeah.
Yeah, it really takes a step up for him on a psychological level. And then he gets Changnesia, and he comes back as a different character. Yeah. Now it's time to talk about what makes Community special.
There are just so many little things about the show and about the world of Greendale Community College that really come together to make Community one of the most unique shows.
Yeah, more in particular, the genre. Every episode has a unique take on a already pre-existing genre that's been out in film for years and years, from Western with the fistful of paintballs to Civil War documentaries somehow, fitting that in there with pillows and blankets.
Again, even very niche subjects. There's an episode on Abed's birthday where the whole episode is styled after My Dinner with Andre, which is a movie about two guys talking.
Yeah, it's somehow interesting. Very interesting episode.
One of my favorite episodes, yeah. Especially the end credit scene.
Oh, yeah.
It's like market price fish.
What market? What market are you shopping at? We're gonna run. We're running. Yeah. What also makes Community unique and really cool is the setting. The community college setting itself already kind of sets the stakes at a much lower level, so that way everything that happens seems much more important.
Exactly, yeah. With, for example, the yams getting murdered in season 5, it's just like a science experiment getting dropped, and it's treated like a whole Law and Order murder investigation. There's intro to political science with the whole presidential debates and running news commentary from Troy and Abed.
There's a lot of really fun things that go on that the antics of the characters just really amplify, and it's due to a very unique setting of the community college, of Greendale, and with all of these people who are just building it up, like the dean. Yeah, it really works.
Just a smidge of unchecked narcissism in each of the study group members.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah. And as well as making use of the setting, the cast just really cared for each other on and off screen. You can see in much of the behind-the-scenes footage just the cast getting into crazy bits that were very similar to what their characters would be doing. Really, Alison Brie and Danny Pudi, they act a lot more like Troy and Abed in real life.
Yeah, they do. And one of my favorite things is always seeing the Dan Harmon interviews after each season to check on their status of how they did and who they think should be fired next year.
I think they stopped doing that after season 3.
But it was pretty fun. Overall, though, Community is just a fantastic show, and I highly recommend that you go check it out.
Absolutely. It's got such lasting appeal, and once it hit Netflix this spring, it became immediately more popular than it ever was during its run on TV.
Yes, so, and all in all, we're just going to continue talking about things we love. So that's it for this episode. Go check out the playlist of Geeking Out About It. There's a whole bunch of stuff from the past year. And always keep an eye out for everything that Chance is going to be up to this next year, because it should be interesting. And I hope that you carry this show on with the glory that we've set it up to. I'm really just hyping myself up as a former producer.
Yeah, pretty much. A little bit of unchecked narcissism.
A little bit of unchecked narcissism.
Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you in the next episode. Goodbye.